let's look at the case study, for instance. And I think you mentioned, for instance, that you're taught when you travel abroad that you should use it. And I think this is a bit of education, but education is key. So what would be the guidelines from an industry perspective? Because I'm sure that you have a lot of case studies. So we know now, I think for people listening to us, we understand why VPN is so important. But as well, let's look at case studies, and I'm sure some data that you have that you want to share with us that might be key to understand some guidelines and some things what not to do and some things what to do. I think that would be one thing that I would like to hear from you.
So in general, there are a lot of online scams, right? So basically, you can be exposed to online scams. Your secure or not non-secure, sorry, non-secure connection can be hacked. And I don't, I mean, I can look while we talk into particular numbers, but basically online scams and a lot of those bad actions by bad actors generate a lot of financial losses, right? So basically, if let's say bad actor can get access to your personal details, right? So it can result, and that is really a very popular case, right? So it can result in your identity theft. So what does that mean? If your identity theft if identity theft happens, and I really don't well, wish that on anyone. I know a guy whose identity was hacked in the United States, and that was really pain for 2 years of his life. And so what happens then? Bad actors, they are taking credits in your name, right? They can try to cheat social security and so on and so on, and all these things have financial or legal repercussions, right? So and the identity theft market is huge. And then there are also protections. Even identity theft protection exists, right? And so if your like identity is hacked, which is kind of quite often the case when you use, like, how to say, when you act like irresponsibly, or maybe no, irresponsibly is not the right word. Maybe when you act not considerately online, then you might lose your identity. It will result in a lot of lost time of your life, in a lot of money lost, and then it will be like really not a healthy experience for you. So that is probably, I mean, we can talk numbers, we can talk cases, but that is probably real thing what people are facing. So let's say previously you asked me about the parallel between VPN and insurance. So it is really about insurance, because because we all think that, well, it won't happen to us, right? Well, because I heard some guy, but I'm more lucky, or I'm more smart. But usually that goes until the first time you are hacked, or until the first time your car run into another car, or I don't know if you have health insurance, until the first time your leg breaks. It's like let's saying goes, better safe than sorry, right? So that's, I mean, there are so many bad things happening in digital world, along the good things, right? So technology is growing, but technology is growing really faster than humans can comprehend, right? And again, the security technology, privacy technology also develops, but the bad actors also, they are not sleeping. they find workarounds, and in any technology, in any product, you can find weak points. And well, bad actors, hackers, well, they think about that 24/7. So if they somehow start to target you, and I don't want to be to be that warmonger, you know, or scare people, but that is true. I mean, there are people who thinks about how to hack you 24/7, right? And if you are not spending 5 minutes thinking about your own personal online safety and privacy, then basically it's, well, it's not matter of if, but it's matter of when. And then it's when, and it might, and again, then it's the difference of scale. Then you will be lucky if that will be just your credit card details will be leaked or something, right? But it can result in huge losses, financial losses, and so on. And there are really scary things, and I don't think that those bad actors, you know, are thinking about human cost for that, because when you are in digital, right, it's somehow, it's like surreal everything, right? So it's happening not in real life, something. So if you hack a person, so basically you don't see him, you don't know how he or she feels, and that makes sometimes even bad actors can go to really huge lengths of how to say, of really awful things. So let's say there are a lot of instances when unsecure connections, and so let's say an unsecure system, hospital systems are hacked. So, and people are dying during the operations, or because there is not energy supply, and so on. So these are all real human costs after all. But when we are online, somehow we all feel very distant from that until it gets real in our real life. So for me, those stories that I just shared with you, they are the most scary, especially those hospital hacks, when they when they hack the system and ask for ransomware, right? So pay something, so we will return you your all systems. So that is the most scary thing for me personally, and that's why I think that not only persons but also businesses should invest a lot in privacy and online security. And unfortunately, I think we all do too little of that. And as our, let's say, life really becomes more digital. So let's say last year was the first year when the digital advertising market was bigger. The share of digital advertising was bigger than of non-digital advertising, so on TV, radio, and so on and so on. So all our lives are becoming more digital, but somehow our behavior and how we act on online, it doesn't change that much, but it needs to change.
It's very good points, and I completely subscribe about what you said. This is a big challenge when it comes, especially with education and the way we prepare ourselves, because that's kind of where people forget. And I think you touched very good points.